Yes, I just had afternoon tea in there at the Design Museum, going through the government building porthole regulations, explaining the building regulations, part A, B to M, and upsetting my freeholder. He's going to have to rebuild all the works he's done all over again because he didn't bother looking up the porthole to tell him what he could do to the walls. So I've just got to find, I gave up looking for cleaning the windows. You have to be able to open windows and clean them. He hasn't got any openings in the walls. He's replaced 9 openings or 6 openings with none. He's a nutter, real nutter. Oh, poplar haka. Anyway, I'm having so much fun showing them up because it's a 25-story tower and they've wrecked 147 flats by knocking out all the original walls. Unbelievable. You just can't believe it. There we go. Wow. He's been practicing. So the damn tube to Richmond and Kew Gardens was stopped today. You just can't stop the tube. They can work at night. Who do you think they are? So I've had to come to this alternative walk, which is quite nice. So this was the design, this was the Commonwealth building. And you'd go in there and every Commonwealth country would have a little frieze, a little pretend area representing their countryside and huts, thatched huts or whatever it was from Africa. And you got a sense of belonging to all these countries through the Commonwealth. They've all got common law. There's no common law in France, Germany, in Europe. There's no habeas corpus. They can throw you in prison for a year before bringing you to trial, and then they throw it out for lack of evidence. It's a scurrilous place, Europe, for freedom. So the news today is that the government is going to make laws that are signed to by students promising not to break them for free speech. And one of our leading lights is starting a union for free speech because the common law advocates are being silenced because people don't want to be controlled by the common law of free speech and allow everyone else to have free speech. They don't want to hear that their minds are all addled with communist ideas. So as being a free person with free speech, that's all we've got. And I was just so lucky. My wife decided to go back to her first boyfriend and could make more money. He could make more money than me pulling condoms off a drying machine in a condom factory in Christchurch, and I could as a school teacher running my own school in the country. Thank God for him. So after a year in the term, I was a free man again. At least I gave my son my surname. So Thompson will hopefully carry on if he's got the sense to get someone pregnant. So I've just left it a bit late to come out and video. I was very naughty, having a long cup of tea, cup of coffee. the design centre. Just trying to think of the name of this park. It's amazing. The social landlord gets control of 3 estates, 10 parks, 5 shopping centres, and there's no one in the organisation who studied leasehold law. And they thought they could get possession of my flat with an injunction. I own the flat, had to buy it. They wanted it, but they blackmailed me into giving it away without paying for it. So I've got the greatest barrister who trains Secret Service agents how to kill other Secret Service agents. His father flew Spitfires in the war. This man believes in free speech and freedom of the individual to fulfill their lives. So I was a Dutch school teacher in New Zealand, strapping kids with a piece of leather, not knowing any better. Till I came to London and the Labour Party brought in the Human Rights Act.
Well, I'm very tempted to.
Because we have the European Human Rights Act and we have the UN Human Rights Act. To property, government and authorities can't take your property off you, and that's what the Hague has done. I've been homeless, living out of 2 suitcases for 3 years. So the damage will be huge. Unfortunately, I'm not going to live long enough to live in luxury with all the money I'm going to sue for. I've left it too late to make a fortune. 77. Everyone dies. And most people are dead by 70. At least half. So I'm seeing specialists. So go to specialists. Get your GP to send you to a specialist no matter what the problem is. And make sure you're not going to die from it in the future. So I've lost weight. This is the greatest day of my life. I'm under 105 kilos at long last. Because my kidney specialist says I've got to be down to 100 kilos by the end of the year. So when somebody tells you got to do it, you got to do it. Otherwise you're crazy if you don't do it, because you die. But I've just been emailing my landlord saying if you're going down for attempted homicide, they're kicking me out of my home. The deal was they were going to rent me a place in the Barbican and didn't do anything to help me. Not a word from them. They're meant to help. If freeholders meant to help you, not kick you out with an injunction. These people are full of hatred for the people they serve. Don't know why. Because they're not having a fulfilling life. No one's thanking them. No one thanked me as a teacher. So I only did 27 years of work out of 45. So I keep telling everyone, take out income replacement insurance when you get to 40 or 50. Because if you become incapacitated, you'll die on the benefit. Whatever it is, invalidity benefit. £70 a week, whatever it is. But you get an extra $1,000 a month income replacement on your 2/3 of your salary. So it was the greatest tip I've ever had in life. And I took it out within months. I've been sacked for the 12th time, or breach of contract, as a school teacher, as a supply teacher. And I said to the insurance company, I'm finished. I can't keep going back and getting sacked every term. and then starving in between jobs. The British teachers hate New Zealand teachers because we're free to go home and they can't go to sunny Australia. Beautiful beach. I swam in the sea there. You know, I had to be careful bobbing up and down the water. I didn't drown. But it was amazing. Warm water. There's the future screaming ahead of free speech. She'll be shut up by her husband. Nagging, nagging, nagging. Well, what is it? 1 in 4 women are now taking Prozac or equivalent to dull the pain of not marrying up. They've had to marry down because they didn't bring their children up as autonomous beings, especially the young men. As autonomous, they kept them chained to their apron strings. Sorry, Barry McNeil, I lost track of you when you went to Boys High, but then we meet up through Facebook a couple of years ago in Australia. You got a huge family of grandchildren, and you had a great life making millions as a barrister or solicitor in the Gold Coast. But you had to, once you'd retired in Nelson, you had to drive to Christchurch every weekend to see your mummy before she died. And that wasn't fair to have you train, you know, giving up your life, your adult life, when you should be seeing your grandchildren, not your grandmummy, not your mummy. You should be taking your mummy to her grandchildren. The greatest human right that's abused, are you listening, everyone? There's a guy called Daddy on the TV and he says, are you listening? I've got something important to tell you. He keeps boring you with these catchphrases. Are you listening, everyone? The greatest human right that's abused is the child has a right to know who their grandparents are, and obviously to meet them and be brought up by them. It's in the Declaration of Children's Human Rights. So I set up a teaching academy, professional development education academy, to promote these ideas. No one's interested. They're all sheep at the chalk face. That's the board. They won't use technology and have whiteboards, you know, with a computer attached, and have interesting and compelling lessons. They want to bore the kids, bore them, brain beat them, punish them. God, there's a private school that you get punished for forgetting your pencil. You get detention for getting your pencil, and talking in the corridors. A mad woman. A parent took over the running of the school. And it's happening today, with all our knowledge. Oh, what's down this way? Let's go down here. Are you getting bored? I'm so sorry. I've got to talk to you. No, that looks like it's their way out. I'll take you to the Kyoto Garden. And there's an ecology centre on the way home. Yeah, so we're just getting a bit of the sun. But I'm below 105 for the first time in 3 years. I'm going to live. So it's called intermittent fasting. You just leave out a few meals whenever you feel like it. Just don't eat a meal. It's so easy. And walk. Now I've got this thing on my wrist. I'll show you the steps on it there. I've done, can you see, 3,900 So I've got to do 10,000 a day. So I'm going to have to keep walking until dusk. Keep walking around this park. You're going to get, whoops. No, that's no good. It didn't automatically focus. So I had to give a phone back worth £350 to my local car phone warehouse, because when it combined with this gimbal, the focusing went in and out all the time, ruining the video. You know, it goes in and out to get the focus instead of slowly finding the focus and stopping. Let me go close up and see what happens. So I've got various, so I'm not using the gimbal's camera, so I don't have any controls over the video. So does it go in and out of focus? No, it's focusing very well. I got away with a very simple Kodak camera, fixed lens, 8 megapixels, for 10 years, going and videoing everything. It came out perfect, picture perfect. So I've started going out. So I've still got one party finder, this. So I got to Tramps nightclub, and they had a art exhibition during the freeze week of photographs blown up on easels of an old pop star. I can't remember his name. And then I got to Quaglino's. Now what you do when there's a whole lot of people trying to get in at reception, she'll let the first group go through. Well, you then tag on to that group and go in with them while she's dealing with the next group, which will shield you from them, from her. So I got in that way. And gate crashed. I always gate crashed as a photographer. You never get invites. Oh, this is nice in here. I took a walking tour here by Botanist, and he took us in here. There's a pool. I'm going to give you a treat. Yeah, you can see the pool. So I'll put you through the, show you here. There you go. There's the pool. Now I should be able to hold this up. And there you go. And they're showing us the little flowers. This is in spring. British flowers. Oh, there's a great film on BBC Two last night about a librarian learning about botany from a neighbour. So you've all got a right to Kew Garden and say, you reduce the ticket price to £2 and we'll come 10 times a year. So that's £20 a year they're going to get from everybody. Now they're getting nothing from everybody. No one's going because they're charging £12 to get in. They're nutters. It's not a place you visit once, it's a place you visit regularly. Now, I had to pay £70 for a pass to go every day to get my 10,000 steps in. I'm not showing you the trees, am I? There you go. Let's look out for the big trees.
Lots of interests.
Yeah, so I've got Michael, well, I can't tell you his name, who's he knows everyone in the Secret Service here in America and the German spies who run this country. So it was obvious that the May was working for the German intelligence, going to try and trap us to stay in the EU with her document, which was a treaty, not a deal. We'd have been bound into the EU forever with no means of escape. I mean, Christ. What? These people are all delusional. You could see she was, a kid, the delusional kid with, ministers of religion, parents, saying, God will, whatever you think is right, because God's on your side, so it must be God's will. Whatever you think is right must be right. So don't you worry about criticism. The whole country's train their kids to think that way. Wow. Oh yeah, and La La Land was on earlier on Channel 2, BBC 2, and that had some good moments in it. It got a bit convoluted, but all these kids on the freeway with their parked cars, jumping out of their cars to music, it was brilliant. And that's how life should be. Look, it's a wonderful life. You don't get mean when you have children. That's when you should learn to play all over again with your own kids. And there's only one little playground here. The whole park should be designed for children to run around in safely. And play pits everywhere, sand pits everywhere. And it'll be full of children cycling around. And that's the road there. So where's the... Oh, we're at Holland Park. So I missed... it's the drainage. So let's go up here and see if we can find... So my arm gave up then because it was damaged by a banker in Australia. He squashed me in the closing doors of his bank. He wouldn't take his finger off the button to release the doors on me. Or press it again. So we're going to have to sue him personally. And lock him up. I've got to get out of my flat. Get the harker to buy it off me. So I just emailed them how they should have handled the 20 leaseholders. Without a CPA, you don't give us a choice of selling to you without a premium or bonus or an incentive for 100,000 extra, or to rent it to you without any premium, but the threat of having to pay 135,000 for your revamping of the building to sell to investors. It's nothing to do with maintaining the building. So you're in so much trouble, Parker. You're watching this. The deception. You've been committing deception left, right and centre. We've got you on tape at the planning permission in the town hall saying that we can't live there while the work's going on because of we face fire. Death by fire. Now the building works can't create fire because it's the way they're done. They aren't allowed to start fires during the works. We have health and safety executive to prevent that. But that's how low they went, to convince the silly councillors haven't read a book in their life. I'm sorry, councillors, but you let them do it. So we know you're dumbfounded coming to this country from an illiterate country, basically illiterate, Pakistan. Well, Bellefonte hasn't had any of your children inhabiting it for the last 3 or 4 years, 5 years. Well, here we go.
I know what I did. Right, okay, exit, navigate. Oh my god, I'm scared. It's gonna climb me. Oh, I touched his wall.
Nature's beautiful.
Regarde, là il y a le pont. Attention, là il y a le pont, on va sortir. Là il y a le pont. Regarde. Là il y a le pont. Le pont. Regarde. Là, ça, c'est le pont. Non, 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 non. Là, attends, le grand oiseau. Sol, chico pesado, es que es un chico con la cámara le vino a hablar, le dijo, no puedes ir acá.
У нее тут соперники много.
Ya está. Bien, sí,